Shalom, shalom. I want to give all praise to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rakah, Kadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well. Salutations to the Akim out there, spreading this truth like wildfire in all truth and in all sincerity. And shalom to the real sisters. Shalom to the rest of the elect. The men, well, and shalom to the rest of the elect, which include the men who are just friends of the prophets that can't prophesy, and the believing women and children. In my future lives, I'm trying to just like keep it simple and be like the rest of the elect, because that's basically it right there. The great multitude, right? All right, shalom to all of y'all. All right. This live, I titled it "The Great Exodus Out of the Land of the North," because that's exactly what's coming. That's what's coming. And the land of the North, that's here in Babylon. No, that it's in North America. It's here in Babylon. And it's called the Great Exodus out of the land. It's going to be known as the Second Exodus, because this place is Egypt all over again. Everything about it, screams Egypt. I'm gonna get that scripture. Exodus out of the land of the north. Jeremiah 16 and 15. But Yahweh lit. I'm gonna go back one. Jeremiah 16 and 14. Therefore, behold, the days come, saith Yahweh, that it shall no more be said, Yahweh liveth, that brought up the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt. Verse 15. But Yahweh liveth, that brought up the children of Israel from the land of the north, and from all the lands whither he had driven them, and will bring them again into their land that I gave unto their fathers. Because it's gonna be on that level of the Exodus from Egypt. The only other captivity where we had were both kingdoms, the southern kingdom, which is primarily so-called black people, but also scattered, and a lot of y'all also scattered among the heathens. And the northern kingdom, which is primarily so-called Latinos and Native Americans, but also scattered among the other nations. And both kingdoms have been oppressed here in Babylon. We get Jeremiah, 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 I think is 50 KJV. Jeremiah 50 goes into Babylon, but I think 51 also do. And you could tell this ain't the first Babylon. This ain't the first Babylon, the ancient Babylon. You could tell it's Babylon the Great. I got a scripture. Good. Get to. The children of Israel, the children of Judah and Israel were oppressed together. Jeremiah 50 and 33, so it wasn't chapter 50 after all. Thus saith Yahweh of hosts, the children of Israel and the children of Judah were oppressed together, and all that took them captives held them fast. They refused to let them go. Verse 34, their Redeemer is strong, Yahweh of hosts is his name. He shall thoroughly plead their cause, that he may give rest to the land and disquiet the inhabitants of Babylon. Yeah, that's how you know that this place is Babylon the Great. It's also how you know, and the land of the north. And all that's going down, all this shit that's going down, all this shit that's going down. Jacob's trouble, right? It's a process. It's a process. This old world. What's the process of destroying this current setup, which is run by Esau, who runs the land of the north, runs the whole world from it, using this empire, man, because this is empire and it's the new Roman Empire, And the land of the north is the land of the north the land of the north, is the military, is like, yeah, it's where the military wing of this empire is located, which is why Babylon is called the hammer of the whole earth. How is the hammer of the whole earth cut asunder? Jeremiah 15:23, and broken. How is Babylon become a desolation among the nations? That's what is going to end up happening. But that shows you right there. Babylon is the military force behind this revived Roman Empire, which was run by the Edomites, and the revived one is run by the Edomites as well. And I actually thought of the title of this live after I was on them GMS elders from Birmingham, Mysteries of the Kingdom. When I was on their, I was on their live, and they was kind of going into that, but it's like they don't just do one topic, they do several. And it was kind of going into that, and the scriptures about the second Exodus, including the ones about this place is Babylon and Egypt all over again as well. Them scriptures, Babylon, Sodom, and Egypt. Them scriptures about the Song of Moses, came to my head, and they sang the Song of Moses, Revelation 15, showing you, that that's what's coming, but of instead of through Red Sea and shit, because that already happened. Instead through the Red Sea, instead of through the Red Sea, Moses parting the Red Sea, all that, which was like the final act of deliverance, by the way. It was a whole process before then. We're gonna be delivered, we're gonna be caught up in the air, man. Which is why verse 1, and I saw another, let me get it, thus, let me get this, hold up, thus shall we ever be with the Lord. Speaking of Yahweh, thus shall we always be with Yahweh. 1 Thessalonians 4:17. This going into the second Exodus and specific details of the second Exodus. concerning those that died before, even they're going to get. If they died in Hamashiach, then it's different. 1 Thessalonians, let me get this first. Revelations 15, verse 1. And I saw another sign in heaven, great and marvelous, 7 angels having the 7 last plagues, for in them is filled up the wrath of power Yahweh. Verse 2. Really starts here. Verse 2, and there's where the point starts. And I saw as it were a sea of glass mingled with fire, and them that had gotten the victory over the beast. Actually, this was going to be a camp live, but I couldn't go. Got held up. But anyways, and them that had gotten the victory over the beast, and over his image, and over his mark, and over the number of his name, stand on the sea of glass, having the harps of power Yahweh. Verse 3, and they sang the song of Moses, the servant of power Yahweh, and the song of the Lamb, saying, Great and marvelous are thy works, Lord power almighty, just and true are thy ways, thy King of saints. Verse 4, who shall not fear thee, O Adawan, and glorify thy name, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. For thou only art holy, for all nations shall come and worship before thee, for thy judgments are made manifest. Yeah. So it's called the Song of Moses for a reason, because we're gonna be exited out of here. We're gonna be beamed up out of here. That's the end all be all. Esau is not gonna destroy our people, even though he tries so hard to destroy us. He's not gonna destroy the elect. He's only gonna get to destroy the 2/3, which are slated for destruction anyways. See. Anyways. Alright. Anyways, I'm back. So I'm back. Expecting someone, so I'll be checking. But anyways, verse 13, but I would not have you to be ignorant, brethren, concerning them which are asleep, even the ones that die in this thing, man. Esau is going to take some of us out. It's going to happen. Which is why, but we still got hope, which is why it's written in Revelation 2 and 10. Hope this is the right one. Nah, this is Revelation 10 and 12 and 12, which we're not supposed to fear anyways. Revelation 2 and 10, though, it's one of the things he's going to do when he comes down with great wrath. Fear not. Matter of fact, that's the deliverance right there, man. That's when the deliverance is going to start. Revelation 12:12, I could get that. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devils come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. That's when these devils make that move. When these devils make that move, Yahweh Jimmy Al-Shai is going to make his move. Oh, Khan, yep. Revelation, and that which is why Revelation 2:10, fear none of these things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison that ye may be tried, and ye shall have tribulation 10 days. Be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life. And it's just a particular amount of days, 10 days some of us may literally be in there for just 10 days. Some of us for 10 months. Some of us for 2 weeks. It just depends. I ate some of it because I'm kind of hungry. But yeah, continue. That's why you're not supposed to fear, man. Why you're not supposed to fear? He's gonna give you a crown of life. Verse 11: He that hath an ear, let him hear what the Spirit says unto the churches. He that over, you already know. Slack. He that overcometh not gonna be hurt of the second death, man. Like if you endure unto the end, that's why you endure unto the end. For you Hakim out there that may get this may you get discouraged. Don't be, cause let me get it right here. 1 Thessalonians 4:13. But I would not have you to be ignorant, brethren, concerning them which are asleep, that ye sorrow not, even as others have no hope. Verse 4:14. For if we believe that Yahweh died and rose again, even so them also which sleep in Yahweh will our Yahweh bring with them. Verse 15. See, like that. So when Esau puts some of the elect to death, they're gonna get risen back up, and right then, you know, crown of life, right then. So elect. So the elect can't lose. The elect can't lose, and Esau can't win. No matter what. No matter what. Mm-hmm. Verse 15, for this we say unto you by the word of Ha'adawan Yahushai, that we which are alive and remain until the coming of Ha'adawan Yahushai, Ha'adawan Yahushai, shall not prevent them which are asleep. Not going to prevent them which are asleep, meaning dead. Verse 16, for Ha'adawan Yahushai shall descend from heaven with a shout, with the voice of the archangel, and with the trump of power Yahweh, and the dead in Hamashiach Yahushai shall rise first. Verse 17, then we which are alive shall remain, and remain shall be caught up together with them in the clouds to meet Ha'adawan Yahushai in the air, and so shall we ever be with Ha'adawan Yahushai. Verse 18, wherefore comfort one another with these words. You know, because that we're supposed to do that because so that brothers don't get discouraged. Whenever we're faced with that guillotine or whatever type of death they got for us, but the main form of death is going to be that. That's why they got so much guillotines at them FEMA camps and shit. But Esau is also going to torture the elect, which is why Yahweh desired be of that number. And those of y'all who sincerely believe, that's a trait of the elect. There's a trait of the elect. But yeah, man, he's gonna have a bunch of he's gonna be torturing the elect as well. He's gonna be torturing the elect as well, have them in torture chambers and shit. Who knows what some of our lots are, man? But gotta endure it, man. Endure to the end. And the same shall be saved. Don't fold. Don't take the jab. Don't take the jab. No, don't get bit. Don't get bitten. Don't get bitten. Because it's coming down. Hey, we're coming down to that time to when Esau Edom is gonna come down with great wrath. Yep. Yeah, Khan Shalom Akir Yalba Shim Yal Shabraka Da Ak Yalba Shim Yal Shaba Shimakaka Dash Braka Da Ak, and anyone else who may be viewing that's not a fucking scoffer demon or an agent watching for Esau, because you have them too. Little minions. Had that brother Kala Araya, man. Well, he's a Rapa Araya now, which means healed lion. They banned his video on, I think it was on the BitChute and shit. They banned his video in all countries. He got a video from this dude, I think it's like End Time Teachers or something like that. Something like that. He has hella subscribers, and his video's up. But they flagged his brother Rapa Araya, because he was gonna bring out scriptures on it. That's what they truly fear. But we know we in those times also when Esau was gonna crack down more. And then he's really gonna go after. He's gonna go after the elect, man. This devil. This devil is hurt. You know. He's hurt. He's in his feelings. You know. He can't sleep at night. We're keeping them up because we keep exposing them. So this devil, he's really about to come with some shit, man. And we gotta be prepared spiritually. Not physically like these Edomites and these carnal niggas. Spiritually. We gotta prepare, man. You know, because that's gonna be key in that day. Wisdom and stability shall be this. Wisdom and stability Wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times. Isaiah 33:6. And the strength of salvation. And the strength of salvation. The fear of Yahweh is his treasure, man. It's gonna be a key in that day, man. The key to salvation, literally. And that wisdom is gonna keep you safe in that day. When Esau comes down with great wrath, you know, you're also gonna have Esau coming in carnally, and you're also gonna have could imagine it. You're gonna have these doubt demons and shit. You're gonna have these doubt demons creep in and fucking try to tell you that they ain't gonna make it and shit. Try to sow doubts in your head and shit. Yeah, just give in, bro. Just give in. Just give in. You don't want to go through all that. Well, what if you don't get defended? What if you don't get defended, man? What if like shit like that, man? What if what Esau? What if you get caught up by Esau? You know, and how you think about all the shit that Esau is gonna do, man. And you can't be in that mindset. Like, you can't let it scare you, because like if you're already thinking that you're going to take an L, like you're already thinking that you're not going to be delivered, and it's going to be all for nothing, then you're already going to be moving in that direction. It's that scripture. He that believeth not, is condemned already. Also that shall not be defended. So you really gotta have faith in this thing. I got a few articles showing you that this thing is getting close. I'm gonna get into them. Just thought I had to start out this live in this way. But let me get this right here. Exodus 2 and 13. Woe unto him that is faint-hearted, for he believeth not. Therefore shall he not be defended. Can't let them doubt demons get you, and they will try. That's why this is a spiritual battle, man. Fuck. I have afflictions. But hold up. Do got a few articles up showing you that this thing is close, man. Bill Gates warns world leaders to practice germ games to prepare for bioterrorist attacks. So now you have the same devil, Bill H. Jake, who so-called predicted the pandemic is predicting another one. Wonder how they would bring it about, by the way. Now he's predicting bioterrorist attacks. You see how it works? Bill H. Jake says bioterrorism is imminent. Gates of Hell warns international authorities that they should engage in quote-unquote germ games. He says this would require the US and UK to spend tens of billions on research and development on the next pandemic. Bill H. Jake has a message during his sit-down interview with Jeremy Hunt, former Secretary of State for UK for Health and Social Care and current UK chair of the Health Select Committee. World leaders should prepare for bioterrorist attacks. In attendance, and just look at this motherfucking devil, man. This fucking psycho. He's fucking grinning like a Cheshire cat and shit. Like, you know what they say? He's fucking grinning from ear to ear and shit. This fucking devil right here, man. Smug ass devil. This fucking smug ass devil. In attendance at COPE 26. I'm to see what the fuck that shit is. COP 26, COP 26, spelled like COP 26. UN climate. It's the UN Climate Change Conference at the SEC. That's COP 26, which means because it's the 26th conference of the bodies, quote unquote, to the UN's the parties, quote unquote, to the UN's climate body. It means conference of the parties. All right. So anyway, since now y'all know what that means, right? On Tuesday, Gates warned international authorities, including the World Health Organization, that bioterrorism is imminent and the best course of action is to play germ games, quote unquote, Sky News reported. So just like Esau is doing war games, war drills, just like the shit they was doing on the NYC subway. You see how it all connects? So now Bill Gates is calling for shit like that. Quote unquote, germ games, according to the Science Times, is when government agencies practice scenarios of another pandemic catastrophe. Germ games. Just like drills for false flags and shit. Like conventional false flags. Now this is what they're doing. And it's all predictive programming. And one of these drills, you know how Esau does it? One of these drills can go live, you know? They'll set them up to go live. And you'll actually have a real event. The bill in there says governments and agencies, germ games, Slakia, quote unquote, according to, okay, I think I already read that. Scenarios of another pandemic. The bill in there says governments and agencies like the World Health Organization, Pandemic Task Force, should invest billions to practice, quote unquote, playing with germs. Quote unquote, I'll take probably about $1 billion a year for a pandemic task force at the WHO level, which is doing the surveillance and actually doing what I call, quote unquote, germ games, where you practice, quote unquote. 6 years ago, so this where they practice. You know, and these devils will have you thinking that, oh, it's just a practice for a real event, when it's a way to get to lull you to sleep. And also, it's like before they actually do the real shit, before you do the real, before you do like, or it's like a rehearsal, right? Before you actually do the real thing, you practice, right? Before you do the actual performance. It's like a dry run. But like I said, you know, Esau may have it set up when one of these dry runs goes live. 6 years ago, Gates also warned that an infectious virus was likely to kill millions of people across the globe. And of course, he was able to warn. You know, he was behind the plan. You know, he was one of the main ones behind it. He warned. Like, of course he knew. Quote unquote, you say, okay, what if a bioterrorist brought smallpox to 10 airports? Hey, ain't that the plot to Operation Dark Winter? Hey, it's all there. You know how would the world respond to that? Quote unquote, he continued. Quote unquote, there's naturally caused epidemics, and bioterrorism cause epidemics that could even be way worse than what we experience today. Yeah, my nose is kind of clogged and shit. And yet, the advances in medical science should give us tools that we could do dramatically better. Quote unquote. Gates noted that such a doomsday prep would require the US and UK to spend tens of billions on research and development on the next pandemic, Sky News reported. As Changing America previously reported, Gates is well known to have predicted during the 2015 TED Talk that an infectious virus was likely to kill millions of people across the globe 5 years prior to the Crown Royal 1984 edition epidemic, which, by the way, you know, that shit is a hoax, man. By the way, it's a pandemic, you know, where they play with the numbers, okay? So, and a lot of people know that by now. But it's interesting how Bill Hates Jake talked about that beforehand. The second prominent threat facing the modern world, Gates says Gates says, was climate change. Oh, and you best believe they're gonna start pushing that bullshit. You best believe they're gonna start pushing that climate change bullshit and what we gotta do about it. Oh, we gotta We gotta make the people pay for the mist that we created. That's how Esau is gonna be like. It's already setting the stage for that. But yeah, Esau coming with them bioterrorist attacks, man. Bill hates Jake is telling you right there, and I wouldn't be surprised if they try to tie that shit not only to a foreign country like Iran or some shit, but also one of the and also the Akim. I wouldn't be surprised. And they say that it was snuck across the border. There was a bioterrorist. Well, there was like a fucking smallpox or some shit, and they snuck it across the border, and they gave it to some to a domestic terrorist group, and they call us domestic terrorists. They gave it to a domestic terrorist group, and they released it in a major city and shit. I wouldn't be surprised if Esau did that shit. Esau is already painting people who criticize Joe Biden as being terrorists. There was a pilot who said, "Let's go, Brandon," after that song, because that reporter, if you don't know, for anyone that don't know, that reporter, but probably should know by now, that reporter who tried to play off fuck Joe Biden chance by saying they were saying let's go Brandon. That's where it comes from. So everybody has said let's go Brandon, and they really say fuck Joe Biden. Just to be. Now you're a terrorist. Now you're a terrorist. Let me look that up actually. Let's go Brandon Pilot. Compared to ISIS. Yep, he was compared to ISIS. Media compares, CNN analyst compares let's go Brandon to rhetoric from ISIS, Nazis, and KKK because they're throwing that. They're using that as well, man. Hold on. Now if you criticize them, now if you criticize them by just saying let's go Brandon. Now you're called a terrorist. Just for saying you're looked at as a terrorist. You're looked at as a terrorist. That's what it's coming out to. And so, of course, they're gonna hold on, come at people and criticize Joe Blow by saying that they're with the, like, also not just with ISIS, but with the white sheets as well. But that's just the smoke screen. Really, that's to get you Jakes to support Joe Blow again. That's all it is. Because a lot of the tribes don't support him as much as they did at the beginning. Hold on. All right, let me get into this article though. So-called liberal CNN political analyst Joe Lockhart managed to compare anti-Biden rallying cry "Let's go Brandon" to coded rhetoric from Nazis, the KKK, and Isaac in one tweet as corporate media continues its meltdown over the chant, which their corporate media is as well, but they're on the right wing side. Lockhart, a former Clinton press secretary, tweeted Monday, quote unquote, "You know who also had coded statements like Brandon? ISIS, the Klan Nazis." Beginning to get the point. So, because just completely fucking ridiculous. These devils will promote a jab which causes defects, causes all kinds of negative effects, man. Has motherfuckers out here dropping dead, and promote them to Jake, promote them to so-called black people Latinos, Native Americans, and shit, even speckled birds. But then they want to say, so that's all right, according to these devils that are so-called liberal. But if you say let's go Brandon, you're just like a Klansman. Like, this is what Esau was coming with now. You know, it's a tweet by this devil from November 1st, 11 p.m. The phrase became an internet sensation. Really, also they're mad because they got caught slipping. The phrase became an internet sensation last month after an NBC reporter at a NASCAR Xfinity Series race incorrectly reported that fans in the stands were shouting "Let's go Brandon" following a victory by driver Brandon Brown, when they were really shouting "Fuck Joe Biden," quote unquote. "Let's go Brandon" was quickly adopted by the president's critics as a subtle PG way to mock Biden. The "Fuck Joe Biden" chants, which began at some large events across the country as the president's poll numbers declined, have now been replaced in some venues with "Let's Go Brandon" chants. Yep, they did it to their damn selves, man. They did it to their fucking selves, because they tried to play it off. I didn't say, they're saying "Let's go Brandon," and that bitch fucking heard them, and she still fucking she still said that shit. So of course. And you have another article. Media compare pilot who reportedly told passengers "Let's go Brandon" to a drug abuser, ISIS sympathizer. ISIS sympathizer. ISIS sympathizer. See where they're going with this shit though. However, liberal journalists, so-called liberal, they're not actually that. And pundits, they don't fit the definition of the word liberal. So they're not even that. It's actually fucking stupid that they would even. It's a lie that they call themselves that. The meaning of the word liberal. Of relating. Okay, there's several definitions. I'm gonna get this one right here. Of or benefiting a man of free birth. B, 1B. 2A, marked by generosity, open-handed. B, given or provided in generous or open-handed way. So based off of those, they're not fucking liberal, bro. And really, if you want to get down to the fucking, you wanna get down to like the etymology of that word. No, they don't fit it. Which is, you always look up the etymology. That's the true definition, the true meaning of a word. The original, the true meaning. It's from Latin liberalis, from liber, free man. The original sense was suitable for a free man, suitable for a gentleman, one not tied to a trade. So That's where it comes from. Yeah. Generous, also nobly born, noble, free. That ain't these devils at all, man. They ain't nobly born, that's for sure. From late 14th centuries as selfless, magnanimous, magnanimous, admirable. They're not selfless. They're not fucking selfless. But so they make themselves look that way, but they're not. Like they're not selfless, man. They're injecting. They want to inject you with poison. A lofty or courageous spirit. That's magnanimous. High-minded and unselfish. And you get this verse comes to mind. The vile shall no more be called liberal. No, the true said to be generous. Isaiah 32:5. The vile person shall no more be called liberal, nor the churl said to be bountiful. They're not true liberals. They're vile. Verse 6. For the vile person will speak villainy, and his heart will work iniquity to practice hypocrisy and the utter error against Yahweh, to make empty the soul of the hungry, and he will cause the drink of the thirsty to fail. And ain't that what they do with that artificial crisis with the supply chain that they created? Ain't that what they doing? These and what do you got in office? You know, Joe Blow, who's supposed to be he's so-called a liberal. You know, he's a self-proclaimed liberal. That's who you got as a frontman. Verse 7, they're also churl. The instruments also of the churl are evil. He deviseth wicked devices to destroy the poor with lying words, even when the needy speaketh right. There you go. And these devils are also, they're churl, man. And churl means a rude, boorish, or surly person. A peasant. They're actually peasants. A rustic. A stingy person. Miser. Miserable motherfucker. Miserable bitch. Miserable devil. Skin flint. I don't know what the fuck that means. He was a churl in his afflictions. English history of freemen of the lowest rank. And these devils used to be on that level. But then it eventually came to mean that as well. The word churl. And that's Esau. Esau was churl. Verse 8, but the liberal devices liberal things, deviseth liberal things, and by liberal things shall he stand. So they ain't true liberals. However, so-called liberal journalists and pundits have become outraged at the rallying cry. Lockhart isn't the only one, but the over-the-top comparison as a chant has also been labeled vulgar, trollish, not patriotic. In a Southwest pilot who might have uttered the phrase was compared to an ISIS sympathizer. Lockhart's tweet, yeah, dude. Lockhart's tweet was quickly hit with backlash. "Quote unquote, I hope a family member's checking in on you." GOP communications specialist Matt Whitlock responded. And these devils is fucking divided against each other. That shows you that as well, which is another sign of that these devils are about to go down. Because didn't you have they was doing that shit to each other? Didn't you have fuck Donald Trump songs and shit, and they would say the same thing? So these devils is on both sides of the wings is hypocritical as fuck, and they hypocritical as fuck, and they divided against each other. Vulgar is vulgar comes from actually having to do with the poor. It's interesting they would say that. Vulgar etymology. Like when you cuss, they say that's vulgar language or whatever. Vulgar comes from Latin vulgaris, which comes from it comes from Latin vulgaris, which comes from Latin vulgus, which means common people. That's all. That really it means that, like how the common people speak, man. It comes from common, ordinary, from Latin vulgaris of or pertaining to the common people, quote unquote. Common, vulgar, low, mean. That comes from too. That's where that comes from as well. From vulgus, quote unquote. I didn't realize it. Mean, come from that as well. From vulgus, quote unquote, the common people, multitude, crowd, throng, quote unquote. Perhaps from PIE root whale to crowd throng. Source also do you get the damn picture? Depressed from Welsh come from that guala. What they say guala because whale. Bull, I can see. Shit. Meaning coarse. Okay, sufficiency enough. Okay, meaning coarse, low, ill, brightest, fish recorded 1640s. Probably from earlier use with reference to people meaning belonging to the ordinary class. Chaucer uses peopleish for vulgar, common, and plebeian. Okay, so it had to do with how the poor people talk. But how the poor people talk, and in the Roman times as well as today, who the poor was, who the poor is, Jake. And Jake has it's how Jake talks. Shit. It's how our people talk. We don't fucking hold back. So of course we would be demonized in that way. But now you have these, but I say you have speckled birds among them. Them type people like that. They say that because They want you to, like, them type of people, like, that usually don't support, that didn't support Joe Blow from the beginning, besides those of us that were in the truth. But you also have these Edomites that are like they're just falling into poverty because Esau's starting to catch the curses. You have them as well. Deuteronomy 36:7. So they're becoming the new vulgar people. Deuteronomy 30:7. It's fucking cold. And I got the heater on. Deuteronomy 30:7. And Yahweh thy power shall bring these curses upon thine enemies and upon them that hate thee, which persecuted thee. And also this is a fulfillment of that as well. Shit. I ain't mean to do that. Fuck. Okay, it's alright. I could drag it to the bottom. I have so much tabs open on here that it's like it gets lost. That's frustrating because I gotta find all these tabs all over again, and it's a waste of my time when I could be bringing more. I could be bringing more shit out, man, or more scriptures, more articles, and more scriptures. But this right here, that's a fulfillment of Deuteronomy 30:7 as well, because Egyptian versus Egyptian, they're calling each other terrorists. So since there's a war on terror, now the government is at war with its own people, even its own nation. Isaiah 19:2. And all set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, and they shall fight every one against his brother, and every one against his neighbor. City against city, and kingdom against kingdom. That's Egypt, right? So the Egyptians are fighting against each other. The Democrats versus the Republicans. The symbol of Esau is the eagle, right? The symbol of Esau is the eagle. And the eagle has two wings, left and right wing, right? Yeah, you have this. You have the government versus the government and those who back up the government, which the figurehead is on the side of the left wing. So now you have, and he's doing a bunch of bullshit. So now you have the Republicans, the right wingers, that's bucking up. But since he's doing so much bullshit and the country's already so divided, and Esau, the house of Esau, is divided. The Babylonians are at each other's throats already. That's just making it worse. And this devil, he's just pushing through that agenda that he was put in power to push through. which it's just another way. Actually, you know, this devil, Joe Blow, reason why they put him in office is because he's more willing to push their agenda. Trump had a agenda. He had his own agenda besides following theirs. So this devil Joe Blow, he was more even though Trump was down with the New World Order, he also had his own agenda, and that wasn't good for them. So they got him out of there, and now they got that devil Joe Blow in there. And also the second reason they got him in there is because he about to die. They gonna put Kamala, man. They gonna put Kamala up in there, man. She's on fire for the New World Order, Kamala. Kamala Harris. That bitch, she's on fire for the New World Order, and she hates Jake. She was, as a DA, she was locking up niggas. And the way she got up there, so by the way she got up there, that she'd be a perfect front woman. Hey, how fitting for the last front person, front woman this time of Babylon is a hoe. How fitting. That shit is too perfect. Yeah, but these Babylonians are at each other's throat, and it's all by design, man. You got this devil who is a so-called liberal on the left-wing side of Esau that called them that compared someone saying "Let's go, Brandon." Compared that pilot saying "Let's go, Brandon" to terrorists and shit, and Klansmen and Nazis and shit. And then there's a large percentage of Republicans and also there's a fact that freedom of speech is being cracked down on. If they can say that "Let's go, Brandon" is means you're a terrorist if you say that, what's stopping them from saying, which they're gonna do this, it's just gradual. They're just getting Jake to support shit like this. What's to stop them from saying Kala Yalba Shimya Shai means you're a terrorist. And there was some signs posted saying Yahweh Shai is coming in New Jersey after that false flag shooting. It was a false flag too, man. You look into it, the kosher market, and they blame Jake. They did some shit and blame Jake. And then they had a patsy. And when you look into it, that shit was a complete false flag. To blame the argument. And then you had signs that said Yahweh Shai is coming, and they said that it was anti-Semitic, which, first of all, it's Shemitic. Second of all, worse Shemitic. And more matter of fact, we're the ones that inherited the blessing all the way from Shem through Abraham. It was given to Shem by Noah, passed on, and then all the way to Abraham, Isaac, and then Jacob. And Yahushai, he's Hamashiach of the Israelites, so the true Israelites. And he is himself is a Hebrew Israelite of the tribe of Judah, what they claim to be. So that's stupid as fuck, but you could see they're already going there. They could say that if you say Shalom, or if you say Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, or Kala Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, then you're a terrorist. And that goes into this. Goes into two things. Goes into Amos 8 and 11. Amos 8 and 11. Hold on to that because that can lead to it being censored. Because they don't want people getting radicalized, right? That's what they say. That will be their excuse. Behold, the days come, saith the Lord, power, Yahweh, that I will send a famine in the land, not the famine of bread, nor thirst, not a famine of bread, nor thirst for water, but of hearing the words of Yahweh. Verse 12, and they shall wander from sea to sea, and from the north even to the east. They shall run to and fro to seek the word of Yahweh, and shall not find it. Verse 13, in that day shall the fair virgins and young men faint for thirst. Why? Because it's living water, and this daily bread and this bread of life, actually bread of life and living water is not going to be available. It's going to be so much of a shortage. Verse 14, why? Because of the censorship. Verse 14, they that swear by the sin of Samaria and say, thy God, O Dan, liveth. Okay, so idolaters and doing all kinds of other bullshit. And the manner of Beersheba liveth. Again, even they shall fall, never rise up again, you 2/3. Because you're not going to have access to this truth. So that go, because you see there. So how Esau do it is called gradualism. Then once he goes after them and does this thing, and which really also that's to take the guns too. He comes after the Akim. And he comes after the Akim, which is probably his plan. No, they're going to come after us. And also this, he shall be hated for my name's sake. That goes into that as well. He shall be hated for my name's sake. Mark 13 and 13, and he shall be hated of all men for my name's sake. But he that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved. Matter of fact, there's even more on this. These are the times that are coming. Yeah. Hold on. It's fucking cold, bro. Verse 9, but take heed to yourselves, for they shall deliver you up to councils, and in the synagogues, chief houses, ye shall be beaten, and ye shall be brought before rulers and kings for my sake, for a testimony against them. Verse 10, and the gospel must be first be published among all the nations. And that's what's been going on. Verse 11, and you got GMS camps in all continents. In all continents. Brothers in all continents. Brothers in camps. Well, yeah. Different brothers and some, lone brothers, and you got camps. and different areas. You got camps in all throughout the Western Hemisphere, North Central South America, among pretty much all the Northern Kingdom tribes, except I would say except in Argentina or Chile, you don't have one yet. But yeah, you have them in pretty much every other Northern Kingdom country, pretty much. And you have them in West Africa, Central Africa, almost all throughout Europe, Britain, Ireland, Netherlands, Germany, Italy. You got one in Finland. You got a camp in Finland. You got a brother in Poland. You got a brother in Arabia, looking like Ishmaelite. You got a brother in Japan. You got a brother in Thailand. You got a brother. You got brothers that know the truth in the Philippines. Know the name. And they look like so-called Filipinos and Japhites too. They don't look like Jake or Northern Kingdom. Like they look like Japhet. And you got brother in Australia, saw fire. So yeah, the gospel is being published among all nations. Verse 11, but when they shall lead you and deliver you up, take no thought beforehand what ye shall speak, neither do ye premeditate, but whatsoever shall be given unto you in the hour that speak ye, for it is not ye that speak, but the Rakah Kadash, which is the Holy Spirit in Hebrew. Spirit of Holy Kadash, because it's from left to right, or right to left, I should say. Rakah Kadash. Yeah, kind. Well, you get what I'm saying. Rakakadash is how you say Holy Spirit in the Hebrew. But let me continue. Now the brother shall betray the brother to death, and the father the son, and the children shall rise up against their parents, and shall cause them to be put to death. Verse 13, and you shall be hated of all men for my name's sake, but he that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved. I'm going all the way back to that. Hey, the brother shall betray the brother to death, and that goes into your blood brothers, but it also goes into, I would say, false brethren crept in unawares. It goes into them as well, because you're gonna have members of the Fallout crew, that are gonna snitch. They're gonna snitch you out, man. And you thought they were your brothers, but they wasn't. You're gonna have that, and it's because we're gonna be getting demonized as terrorists, and also the pressure to take the J&J juice or the other brands of the devil's punch bowl juice, and as well as, well, that, and that's so the MOTB will be pushed. Eventually the MOTB. Anyone who don't get that shit, you're gonna be looked at as a terrorist. Why you not? Why you not getting that? Why you not getting the MOTB for? Oh, it's yeah. Why you not? Why you not getting the bite mark for? Got something to hide? Is it because you don't want to get the death job and shit? So you're contributing. Get a reason why we're going through this because there's a pandemic. See where this is going. See where they're going with this. It's also to demonize. It's really to come after the elect. Now, and they're also coming. They're coming like that, and they're coming with propaganda, and they're coming with these mandates. Like, you got a mandate in San Francisco. They're mandating kids get this shit. Kids, 5 to 12. Yeah, they're saying the kids can get it too. They're mandating that. They're saying they gotta get it. And you can expect these devils to roll that out, Be giving this shit out at school and shit. Hey, it's gonna get real draconian out here. These devils are about to go in, man. And Khan, I did hear about this. Save the future boners. The serving juice jab PSA. I did hear about that. And these devils are reaching way back. These devils are doing some Elastigirl type shit, man. Real talk. Reaching way back for just saying whatever they could say, pulling whatever they could pull out their ass. They're reaching way back. That's what these devils are doing. Whatever they can tell you to get you to take the job. Yo, you know what? And this may have already happened, but they're probably gonna be like, Santa Claus wants you to take the job to the kids and shit. Satan Claus wants you to take the job. If you don't, then you're not naughty. Then you're naughty and not nice. You could already, these devils are coming with some propaganda. It is what it is. It's a Shabbat. It's a new one. Oh shit. Can't see. Yeah, these devils, they're gonna say anything to get you to take the job and say anything to demonize those that won't take the job. These devils are getting ridiculous with it, for real. Let me get what the Truckers at 2 backlogged U.S. container ships ports have collectively sat idling for 50 years so far in 2021. There's this as well, and they're trying to starve the people out. Like I said, like I brought out, like they're trying to pull all this. They're trying to pull uh, engineers. They're trying to do engineer family, like Holocaust, or like the Argentina family, or like what happened in China, the great big hole. Since 70 ADCs, that was an engineer. An engineer's family, that's a siege. That's a siege. Yeah. So that's the siege. And Esau was setting up. A siege. I mean, so, this was so surprised. I don't even have much. I mean, it's a good much. I was tired. I was tired. I was tired. I mean, it's a good much. I mean, it's hard. It really gets prepared. All right, let me get into this article. I got another one. Going into La Palma situation, man. I mean, well, no. Well, there's probably one on that too. That's just one volcano situation. That it's people saying that it could cause a tsunami, and I believe it's pretty likely. I believe it's pretty likely that it's gonna happen. But let me continue. It's pretty likely. Well, let me get in this article about this engineered shortage, man. This engineered famine, this siege. Truckers at two major, how bad it is. Truckers at two major U.S. ports have collectively sat idling for 50 years in 2021. Data suggests the average trucker has already spent more time idling than any of the previous 3 years. The data shows big U.S. ports collectively for 50 years in just 1 year. Yeah, dude. Big U.S. ports are clogged with containers because of a breakdown in the global supply chain network, which they engineered, man. Look into it. And also that quote by that Assistant Treasury Deputy, whatever, Treasury Secretary. Yeah, it shows that they're trying to force you to starve, submit or starve, like some Voldemort type shit, or Great Leap Forward type shit again. Truckers at two backlogged U.S. container ports have collectively sat idling for 50 years so far in 2021. Data suggests quote-unquote idle time racked up by these truckers at the port of LA and the port of New York and New Jersey climbed markedly in 2021 compared with recent years. Data from LYTX, yeah, whatever, it's LYTX, a transport telematics firm, showed the data was first reported by Bloomberg. Idle time, the time in which engines are running but trucks aren't moving, climbed by 50% per vehicle between the start of October of 2018 and October 2021. LYTX said, which it wasn't this bad until the after the plant, until the plant did. It really wasn't this bad till, yeah, it wasn't this bad till the pandemic. Really till this year. LYTA said. So far in 2021, trucks at the two ports have racked up more than a day's worth of idle time on average, which collectively amounts to 50 years worth, according to LYTX. America's busiest ports remain clogged up because of a breakdown in the supply chain network, which they're not gonna fucking admit, especially in an article like this, that they're from a mainstream corporate news source that they're doing shit like this. But for those that y'all shit, I don't know. Just in case, for those of y'all that's entirely new to this, just the FYI. After a fall in shipping, consider the source. after a fall in shipping demand during the early days of the pandemic in 2020. Yep, the surge at the end of that year has led to delays and blockages across the world. That's one aspect of it that's led to it. That was engineered by these devils. But you also had, like, they're also actively doing shit like that as well to stop it from coming in. Now, containers that are waiting to be collected and taken to their next destination are jamming up port docks, and preventing arriving ships from docking and unloading new cargo. The White House stepped in last month, moving both Southern California ports to a 24/7 schedule, but supply chain experts were skeptical about how effective this would be, especially if truckers and warehouses are not following the same schedule. It's great that they've chosen to do something, but we're talking about less than 1% to 2% change here. Brian Whitlock, a supply chain analyst at Gardner, told Inside, the quote unquote the work that they're talking about here is going to be immaterial. It probably won't even be visible. They're saying it won't even work. But hold the fuck up. I heard something about that. I heard that that's bullshit. Like that they told him to move to 24/7 schedule. I heard that that's bullshit. I don't remember exactly where I heard it though. Hold on. Right. I heard somewhere that I heard somewhere that that's not completely true. They bullshit. God. Alright, so I'm still live. Esau didn't take me off yet. Kala Yahweh Shem Yahushai Bat Shem Kakadash. Those devils must, I must have slipped past. But yeah, I heard somewhere that that's actually bullshit. It's actually bullshit because they're not trying to. They're not trying to. It's fucking cold. They're not trying to free up the supply, fix the supply chain. It's not. It's like they ain't no fucking need. I don't know what's going on with that bit. I know the one upstairs. Let me see something. I know what upstairs. Upstairs. It's actually hot up here. Yeah, what the fuck? It's actually hot up here. It's actually hot up here and it's cold down there. Nah, there's something wrong with that picture. What the fuck, bro? Nah, that one's fucked up. I'm gonna turn this shit off. No wonder I'm freezing. What the fuck? No wonder. Didn't even. No wonder. The downstairs vent don't even fucking work right. Of course. Esau can't even design an apartment building right. And no wonder I was freezing. Ain't design that shit right. But anyways, let me get some scriptures on that. A siege. That's what that is. Siege. Fuck. Behold, thy enemy behold thy enemy. Maybe I said, let me get this right here. Behold, or thy enemy shall cast a trench about thee. Luke 19:43. Hold on. All right. For the day shall come upon thee, that thine enemies shall cast a trench about thee, and compass thee round, and keep thee in on every side. Verse 44, and shall lay thee even with the ground, and thy children within thee, and shall not leave in thee one stone upon another, because thou knowest not the time of thy visitation. Yep. Hey man, these devils that's a part of them that's a part of them. That's a war tactic. A siege. An engineered famine, that's the same shit. It's gonna be like 70 AD all over again, but worse. All right, so hold on. Oh yeah, that one article. Oh shit. Yeah, there was another scripture I was gonna bring out. It's fucking cold still. Second Ezra 16 and 17. Woe is me, who would deliver me in those days? Verse 18, the beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of wars, my power shall stand in fear, the beginning of evils. What shall I do when these evils shall come? Verse 19, behold, famine and plague, tribulation and anguish are seen as scourges of remember, because Ezra saw all these things coming. I was like, damn, what am I going to do? Verse 19, behold, famine and plague, tribulation and anguish are sent as scourges for amendment. Verse 20, but for all these things shall they not turn from their wickedness, nor be always mindful of the scourges. That's you tribes, man. 2/3. As soon as shit gets better, even a little better, it eases up. As soon as it eases up, they're like, yeah. They go back to the bullshit. And it's been this way. It's been this way, but now it's getting less this way. Verse 21, behold, victuals shall be so good cheap upon earth, that they shall think themselves to be in good case, and even then shall evils go upon earth, famine, sword, and great confusion. Mm. While victuals was cheap upon earth, that's what's been that while victuals have been cheap upon earth, now it's getting more expensive. But while they have been cheap upon earth, those evils have been going upon earth: sword, famine, and great confusion. Verse 22, for many of them that dwell upon earth shall perish of famine, and the other that, sword, wars and rumors of wars, famines, this pandemic causing a famine, causing shortages. And also these natural disasters that Esau actually, well, Esau causes them using weapons of geoengineering like HARP and chemtrails. Ultimately, this devil is a sword, though. So he's a sword of Yahweh Shimi outside. So ultimately, it's judgment. But Esau has used many of these of his devices to cause this famine. Verse 22, for many of them that dwell upon earth shall perish of famine, and the other that escape the hunger shall the sword destroy. Verse 23, and the dead shall be cast out as dung, and there shall be no man to comfort them, for the earth shall be wasted, and the cities shall be cast down. And going back to verse 22, for many of them that dwell upon earth shall perish of famine. A lot of them is going to die of famine. And the other that escape the hunger shall the sword destroy. And the dead shall be cast out as dung. So the other that escape hunger, the sword is going to destroy. The martial law troops. Because people are going to be going into these FEMA shelters and shit, which are really FEMA camps. And they're going to be getting faced with two options. I either take the pimp juice, fuck it. Take the pimp juice, or and hey, you get bit. No, fuck, I'm put this way. You get bit, and you get bit, and you got a mark, and you get the mark, the bite mark, or you die. So they're gonna be faced with that. Verse 23, and the dead shall be cast out as dung, and there shall be no man to comfort them. And also, the martial law troops as well. Because people are gonna be looting stores and shit, and eventually looting people's houses, just robbing motherfuckers, and then eating motherfuckers. I was gonna go to that. So people are gonna think that they escaped. You know, people are gonna think that they escaped the hunger and got some. They're eating some dude that was skinny as fuck, anyways, because some dude that was starving, so he was fucking scrawny as fuck, like real scrawny, like a stick, withered like a stick. So, not only are they gonna be cannibals, it ain't much there. But they think that they're gonna escape the famine like that, and then someone gonna kill them and take what they have. Let's gonna get that bad. And eat they ass too. And the dead shall be cast out of the dung, and there shall be no man to comfort them, for the earth shall be wasted, and the city shall be cast down. No man to comfort them, no graves to put them in. Of course, right? It's going to be a total economic collapse. Verse 24, there shall be, those are the times of Jacob's trouble that's coming. Verse 24, there shall be no man left to till the earth and the sower. Verse 25, the trees shall give fruit, and who shall gather them? Verse 26, the grapes shall ripe, and who shall tread them? For all places shall be desolate of men. Verse 27, so that one man shall desire to see another and to hear his voice. Like I Am Legend, when Will Smith was in NYC by himself and shit for a good minute. Verse 28, for the city, he got it fucked with him so bad that, of course, it's a movie, but they're showing you the reality of it. That he started making up imaginary friends and shit. That's how bad it got. Verse 28, for a city there shall be 10 left, and 2 of the field which shall hide themselves in the thick groves and in the clefts of rocks. Like these bunkers, man. As well as actual caves, but a lot of them gonna hide in. Gonna have you got some that have like bunkers, but it's not that they're not like that intricate, like the rich got. The rich have a 1%. That all the elite Edomites have access to bunkers that's like deep as fuck. And they're those elites are getting preserved to be the slaves. And on the other side, man, the first fruits of slavery. But the ones with the bunkers that they ain't built as well. They ain't as deep. They're gonna die in the nukes and shit. Or they may even die before they get to their bunker, die in their bunker. So when they may find it, break in, take their shit. Just why they're gonna be, well, they're gonna try to hide themselves. A lot of them is gonna get caught out there. Verse 29, and as in or angel, a death angel. Well, that would be a death angel being like a spirit created for vengeance, sent to take their ass out. That's one way it could happen, or one of their family members could take them out, someone they trusted. plotting on them, take all the food, take them out. Who knows how it would happen, but those that's slated, that's destined to go out that way, gonna go out that way. But yeah, it's gonna be a lot of. Hey, well, it's gonna be a lot. It's gonna be a time like no other. Jacob's trouble, and hey, it's gonna be a lot of you 2/3 is gonna die. Well, nobody as heathens and Edomites. A lot of them are gonna die, which we're not worried about them. Verse 29, as in an orchard of olives, upon every tree there are left 3 or 4 olives. Verse 30, or as when a vineyard is gathered, there are left some clusters of them that diligently seek through the vineyard. So just like that, verse 31, even so in those days there shall be 3 or 4 left by them that search their houses with the sword. Verse 32, and the earth shall be laid waste, and the fields thereof shall wax old, and her ways and all her paths shall grow full of thorns, because no man shall travail therethrough. Verse 33, the virgins shall mourn, having no bridegrooms. The women shall mourn, having no husbands. Their daughters shall mourn, having no helpers. Verse 34, in the wars shall their bridegrooms be destroyed, and their husbands shall perish of famine. Yeah, either in the wars, the civil wars, including the race wars, and as well as a civil war, like another U.S. Civil War, for example. Ah, shit, Slacky. Slacky. Get back to what I was getting into. In the war shall their husbands be destroyed, and shall the bridegrooms be destroyed, and their husbands shall perish of famine. They're gonna starve. Wherever they are, they gonna starve and shit. Yeah, and not to mention World War III, which is gonna be a conventional war at first. You're gonna have a draft. You're gonna have a draft of men and women, able-bodied men and women, because they opened the door for that recently with women can now be drafted. Shit. Verse 35, hear now these things and understand them, ye servants of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Verse 36, behold the word of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, receive it. Believe not the gods of whom Yahweh Shem Yahushai spake. Verse 37, behold the plagues draw nigh and are not slack. Yeah, they're not slack. The vision is speaking. Shit. Tired. Yeah, the vision is speaking. Verse 38, as when a woman with child in the 9th month bringeth forth her son, within 2 or 3 hours of her birth, great pains compass her womb, which pains if the child come when the child cometh forth, they slack not a moment. Verse 39, even so shall not the plagues be slack to come upon the earth, and the world shall mourn, and sorrow shall come upon it on every side. Verse 40, O my people, hear my word, make you ready to the battle, and in those evils be even as pilgrims upon the earth. I'm fucking cold. I'm sleepy too. Verse 41, he that selleth, let him be as he that fleeth away, and he that buyeth is one that will lose. Verse 42, he that occupieth merchandise as he that hath no profit by it, and he that buildeth as he that shall not dwell therein. Verse 43, he that soweth as if he should not reap. So also he that planteth the vineyard as he that shall not gather the grapes. Verse 44, they that marry as they that shall not give no children, and that they that marry not as the widowers. Verse 45, and therefore they that labor in vain. Verse 46, this lines up, by the way, Matthew chapter 24. Verse 46, for strangers shall reap their fruits and spoil their goods, overthrow their houses, and take their children captives, and for in captivity and famine shall they get children. Verse 47, and they that occupy the merchandise with robbery, the more they deck their cities, their houses, their possessions, and their own persons. Verse 48, the more will I be angry with them for their sins, saith the Most High Yahweh. Verse 49, like as a whore envieth a right, honest, and virtuous woman. Verse 50, so shall righteousness have iniquity when she decketh herself, and shall accuse her to her face when he cometh, that shall defend him that diligently searcheth out every sin upon earth. The prophets. It's fucking cold, yo. Verse 51, and therefore be ye not like thereunto, nor unto the works thereof. Verse 52, for yet a little iniquity shall be taken away out of the earth, and righteousness shall reign upon you. Verse 53, let not the sinner say that he hath not sinned, for power Yahweh shall burn coals of fire upon his head, which saith before Yahweh power and his glory, I have not sinned. Verse 52, behold, Yahweh knoweth all the works of men, their imaginations, their thoughts, and their hearts. You know, the lie of the mind, right? Verse 55, which spake but the word, let the earth be made, and it was made. Let the heavens, damn, what the hell happened, bro? Ah, shit. This phone got unplugged, so it went black. Verse 56, in his word were the stars made, and he knoweth the number of them. Verse 57, he searched the deep and the treasures thereof. He had measured the sea and what it contained. Verse 58, he had shut the sea in the midst of the waters, and with his word hath he hanged the earth upon the waters. Verse 59, he spreadeth out the heavens like a vault upon the waters hath he founded it. Verse 60, in the desert hath he made springs of water and pools upon the top of the mountains, that the floods might pour down from the high rocks to water the earth. Verse 61, he made man and put his heart in the midst of the body, gave him breath, life, and understanding. Verse 62, yea, in the spirit of almighty power, Yahweh, which made all things, and searcheth out all hidden things in the secrets of the earth. Verse 63, surely he knoweth your inventions and what you think in your hearts, even them that sin, and would hide their sin. Oh, yeah, 2/3, man. And 2/3 that hide your sin and shit. Act like as you have them as well, man. Nah, I didn't do this shit. That wasn't me. Like that song. But they act like that for like shit that's actually going off. Verse 64, therefore hath Yahweh exactly searched out all your works, and he will put you all to shame. Verse 65, when your sins are brought forth, he shall be ashamed before men, and your own sins shall be your accusers in that day. Verse 66, what will ye do? Or how will ye hide your sins before power Yahweh and his angels? Verse 67, behold, power Yahweh himself is the judge. Fear him, leave him off from your sins, and forget your iniquities, to meddle no more with them forever. So shall power Yahweh lead you forth, and deliver you from all trouble. Verse 68, for behold, the burning wrath of the sweat, coming down to, it's going to go into the siege. It lines up. It lines up with Matthew chapter 24. Verse 68, for behold, the burning wrath of a great multitude is kindled over you, and they shall take away certain of you, and feed you being idle with things offered unto idols. Verse 69, and they that consent unto them shall be had in derision and in reproach, and trodden under foot. Yeah, verse 68, what are they trying to do right now, man? They what is in their plans right now? They're trying to, it's in their plans to take away certain of you and feed you being idle with things offered unto the idols. The devil's punch, bull. The devil's punch. The devil's punch. The devil packing the punch, and he want to give you some. And yeah, the devil's punch, and proof that you got it. The digital proof that you got it. And like that brother, that brother, his name is Chazak, Israelite foreigner brother. Like he put in one of his videos, bite that chip on the shoulder mark. But it's in your hand though. You know, all things that were offered, or they contain things that were offered unto idols, like the devil's punch. You know, aborted babies would be one right there. Aborted baby parts, that's one right there, man. Just all the ingredients, man. Pretty much. Things offered unto idols. Verse 69, and you know that hydra they got in there. Well, that horseshoe crab blood, you know, probably that as well. And that hydra probably had come from that as well. And then you actually got a hydra, like the parasite in that shit. And they're injecting motherfuckers with that shit. Verse 69, and they that consent unto them shall be had in derision and in reproach and trodden underfoot. Matter of fact, I got something else. Has to do with the Hydra. Yeah, Hydra was a many-headed serpent or monster in Greek mythology that was slain by Hercules. Each head which was not cut off was replaced by two others. not capitalized to a multifarious evil, not to be overcome by a single effort. Hydra meaning water serpent. That's what it means. Water serpent. The beast that is in used figuratively for any multiplicity of evils. And the evils multiplied. Well, there's more though. What is that? And evils multiplied. You can get that in. But there's something else. That me and the brother was looking into way back. And evils multiplied. And evils were multiplied in the earth. 1 Maccabees 1 and 9. After his death, speaking of Alexander the Freak, they all put crowns upon themselves, and so did their sons after them many years, and evils were multiplied in the earth.